In the wild, you can find all types of wild animals. But the question is, what is the wildest animal on planet Earth? Bears? Tigers? Sharks? None of these. The wildest animal on Earth is this: the African wild dog. The scientific name of the African wild dog is Lycaon pictus. It is a canine and it's considered a dog, but its attitude is very different from other dogs. It's very ruthless, angry, and it wants to kill its prey in the most terrifying way possible. These aren't big dogs either. They're medium size, between 25 to 35 kilograms. That means they're smaller than a male German Shepherd. But because they hunt in groups and they're very coordinated, that's what makes them deadly. You will never find a lone African wild dog. Their group consists of 5 to 20 different African wild dogs, and they all look similar to one another. It's not like other canines where you can mistake a wolf for a dog. From afar, anyone that knows these animals knows that this is an African wild dog. One of the obvious things you can point out an African wild dog is the ears, because they're circular rather than pointy. Anywhere they hang out, anywhere they go, anywhere they hunt, they do it together. What we're trying to say is that they're very social animals and they do not like to be alone. Another way you can pinpoint an African wild dog is the tails, because it starts off skinny and not furry, and then it finishes off like a fox. It gets extremely fluffy. If you open your eyes and you're confronted with something like this, and you don't have a weapon or a gun to protect yourself, it's better to say goodbye, because you are what's for dinner. It's going to be a painful death too. Like for example, when a lion or a tiger hunts its prey, first it bites the neck to kill them off and then eat. But an African wild dog does not do that. They take chunks out of the prey and basically kill them slowly. So every chunk of body part that's getting bitten off, the prey feels it. You gotta feel bad for any animal that gets chosen by a pack of these guys. You might say hyenas do the same thing, even though hyenas are very ruthless, but a lot of the times they're eating dead flesh that other animals had hunted. Because you could say they're kind of like vultures where they eat dead animals and rotten animals. But African wild dogs are not like that. They want that fresh meat. The map you're seeing is where you can find African wild dogs, and just like its name, you can only find them in Africa. But they're mostly found in the country of Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. These dogs usually like to live in savannas, just like hyenas, where they live next to jackals and lions. But it's not like they only prefer the savannas. You can find them in all types of forests, jungles, and even rainy areas. Like for example, when you get closer to the equator right next to the Congo, where it rains much more, you can still find these animals. But of course they prefer the savanna. These dogs do not like to eat or hunt humans. They usually hunt impalas, wildebeest, and springboks. But it's not like if they're confronted with a human, they're not going to attack and eat. The people in Africa that live near these animals know very well to stay away from their territory. But if they want to go in there, make sure you have weapons or you're with a group of people, because African wild dogs are actually quite intelligent. And they do not attack a group of humans because they know how threatening it could be. Out of all the dogs, the African wild dog has the most stamina, and it has a lot of perseverance. If a prey is running away from it, it doesn't mind. It just starts chasing, and chasing, because it knows the prey will run out of breath before them. They will run for miles and miles without skipping a beat. But eventually, when the prey gets tired, they catch up, and they still have energy left over to finish the job. In a pack of African wild dogs, there is usually no mates. It's just whoever sleeps with whoever and produces the most amount of puppies. And another interesting thing is, all the puppies are taken care of by the entire pack. It's not just taken care of by the mother. And unlike bears where the male is not present, everyone stays present and takes care of the child. So slowly, they're pretty much adding soldiers to their army. And that is why a higher percentage of the puppies stay alive, unlike other canines in the wild. Out of all the canines, the female African wild dog can carry the most amount of puppies as well. Their gestation period is about 70 days, and it could be between 6 to 16 puppies, which is insane. Dogs have a lot of puppies, but not even close to 16. It's usually 6 to 7. The wildest animal on earth treats its young extremely well. They treat them so well that they don't even let them get close to battle. They want them as safe as possible until they grow up. A disease that's threatening the life and actually the species of African wild dogs is rabies. If you know rabies, it will eventually kill the animal in a few weeks or maybe even a week. And whoever it hunts, they also get rabies. But at that point, it doesn't matter because they're gonna get eaten up anyways. But either way, it's this disease that's causing this species to be an endangered species, and they have to be careful so it doesn't go extinct. If you look at how dog teeth looks like, it's usually organized and it doesn't look too insane. It's somewhat organized and looks friendly, but when you look at what the African wild dog has going on, it's just terrifying to look at. Every square centimeters has a teeth and it's extremely spiky. And what makes it even more scary is that they have one of the most powerful jaws for their size, and that makes the kill even more painful and deadlier. You can compare their teeth to shark teeth, where they tear off the meat rather than bite it off. Scientists have figured out how successful different predators are at hunting their prey. In your opinion, what do you think is the most successful predator in the world? Lions? Tigers? Wolves? None of those. This insect, the dragonfly, can kill 95% of its prey. But the dragonfly is actually one of the most effective and the best insects in nature, so it's not like they're a bad predator. The most successful predator in the waters is the seahorse, where 90% of its prey is hunted. But the third most successful animal on earth is our friend the African wild dog, where 80% of its prey gets eaten. If you've seen our video about hyenas, you'll know that there's never a male alpha. Every single alpha in their pack is a female. In terms of the African wild dog, there is a small percentage of alphas that are female, but they are still mostly male, unlike wolves and dogs, where 100% of the alphas are always male. But sometimes in jackals and foxes, where they don't live in a pack, you can find a leader that's a female. The African wild dog has so much stamina that it can run at a speed of 60 kilometers an hour for minutes. This dog basically evolved in a way where it just runs and runs and runs and does not give up. This is pretty much the reason that 80% of its prey gets killed at the end, because they will most likely outrun the prey. Another problem with the African wild dogs is that they had so many children with one another throughout history that they have genetic problems. And that's why when they get a disease that wouldn't kill any other canine, it could be deadly to an African wild dog. That's another reason that African wild dogs all look the same. Like when you look at other canines, you will find all types of wolves, all types of foxes, and of course our favorite, all types of dogs. So what is the enemy to the African wild dog? There are only two species that could kill this thing. Of course, it's the human, and if it has a weapon, it could very easily put this dog down. But another animal is a lion. If you know about lions, you'll know that it's always the female that hunts the food. But you can imagine how annoying and how problematic these dogs are that a male lion attacks them out of anger. So in the end, we can pretty much say the wildest animal on planet Earth and the nicest animal on Earth are both dogs.